Yo, peace, everybody. Welcome. I have a special guest today by the name of Randy Rascal. Very dope dancer. To be honest with you, we have some history together as being friends and sharing the same dance floor that we have here in Los Angeles, California on Saturdays. So if you guys are ever out in Los Angeles, make sure you go to Juice on Saturdays. That is a dope practice spot. So, with this being said, we're going to jump into this interview and I hope that you guys enjoy it. It's going to be pretty dope. So, just waiting for Randy Rascal to jump on and we'll get it started. Fix. Hey, hey, how's it
Hello.
going? I'm
Good.
doing
How are
pretty good
you?
today, so I'm super excited that we got a chance to do this because we've been talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I just feel like I just really wanted to know your history though, because to me you're an amazing dancer, and I remember the first time that we met, it was in Salt Lake City, and that was probably about, I'll say about like 9 years ago, close to 10 years ago. At that
Yeah,
time
that
you were
sounds about
living in
right.
Colorado, right? Okay.
Yes, I was. Yeah, we drove there from
Oh, okay.
Colorado.
So if you could real quick, could you just introduce yourself to the people that are watching? And yeah, just let them know a little something about
Absolutely.
yourself.
Absolutely. Hey everybody. I am Rascal Randi.
Congratulations, okay.
I born and raised in the Bay Area, California. Went to school, went to college, Colorado, and then made my way to Los Angeles here. I've been in Los Angeles for about 8 years now. Been breaking for about 4, but with some breaks and
Right.
other styles. It's been um, a journey with breaking now, but recently I jumped back into the breaking world and steadily then going full
Okay.
throttle.
So before breaking, you were doing other styles of dancing?
Um, Not before. So I actually started. Well, I mean, before breaking, I was
Okay.
dancing at house parties and like making up dances with friends for like talent shows and stuff like that. But never in a studio, never any certain kind. Bay Area is just big on
Oh,
hyphy music,
yeah.
dance. Yeah, yeah. So we were doing that, but the actual first style that I got into and started to learn um, was
Okay.
breaking. So that was my introduction into like practicing a specific style and learning everything about
That's
it. And
awesome. So were you in the Bay when the hyphy movement was going on with Mac Dre and Mr. Fab and
absolutely, keep the sneak,
oh
Wolfpack,
my
like all of
gosh,
that.
girl.
Yeah,
I was going up there a lot too because Iron Monkey was he's a good friend of mine, but he was living in San Francisco. So we would go to a club called the Element Lounge.
yeah. I
Okay.
was too young, but I know the
Yeah.
feeling.
So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
I was in the 18 and up club.
Did you ever go to City Lights in San Francisco? I
Yeah,
was there. I was there because we knew Sharon. Iron Monkey knew Sharon. Sharon's a part of the Renegades.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. But
oh, you
at that
wasn't
time I wasn't
breaking.
breaking, so not when I was in the Bay. It was I actually started breaking when I got to Colorado. I was actually at a Roots concert and
Oh,
there were some b-boys in the corner, and I like found that through them. And I was just watching them the entire night, and one of them finally came up and was like, "This is where we practice." practice. You seem to be interested in this because you've been stalking us all night. So it was just at a rec
Okay.
center, actually. Yeah.
So you know Fiends too, right? From Colorado?
I yeah, I know Fiends. Also, are you hearing? There's like a weird
Yes, I hear that.
audio
I don't know if it's your
thing.
Wi-Fi.
I'm on Wi-Fi, but should I leave
I
and come
think I
back
can hear
on?
you good right now, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you know, what was the name of the crew called Lords of Illusion?
Oh,
Yes.
where was that? In Colorado? I didn't know Lords of Illusion. I knew I was part of Street Styles. Break Effects had a squad out there. Freak Show.
Okay.
Oh, oh man, what else? Yeah. I don't think I
Okay.
knew
Yeah,
Lords
that's
of
an older crew
Illusion.
though.
No.
That's like way before your time. That's probably why. I think they're like a an 80s crew. No, actually a 90s
Oh,
or
okay.
a late 90s crew. And then I think probably as time evolved and things started to evolve, they kind of just fell back and started a family. But that was a crew that I first heard that came out of Colorado, and then that's when I heard about Zulu Gremlin and then Agent One.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Asia One,
Oh,
Lady
Lady
Jules
Jules
came
too.
out
Yeah,
of
you're right.
Colorado prior to, yeah. There was a good amount of B girls that had kind of left some history in Colorado, which was cool
Hmm.
as a B girl. Yeah.
So, I know there was an event out there. Was it called Breaking Hearts? Well, can you tell
Yeah.
me about that event? Is that still going on, or is that just kind of something that was just like a phase?
Yeah. I don't think it's going on anymore. But that was a cool one. There was actually a good amount of like that one had an all styles element as well, which I think at one point I remember going up against Marie Poppins. Actually, they had brought Marie Poppins
Ooh,
out to Colorado. It was the first time that I met her, and we met each other in the finals of an all styles battle. Actually, so that was super fun. But that was one of the ones I think that incorporated all styles quite a bit. And it just in general, Colorado actually showed a good amount of love at that time to like, there was a B-girl battle that
mm,
happened every
yeah,
year. There was like a good amount of love towards the B-girls, I would say. Um, you know, and there was a decent amount of us out there for it being like in Colorado um, in a place where like, you know, everyone had 9 to 5s because dance wasn't really a way to
oh
make a
yeah,
living out in Colorado. So, yeah, there was like V, Antoinette, Momo, myself, Katya,
okay,
who I learned from. Yeah, there was a good amount of us
that's
that were
tight.
like always going up
Yeah,
against each
from what
other.
I was told that the Colorado scene is very welcoming, is very loving out there. From anybody that came from out of state, they said when you go to Colorado, the B-boy community is like so nice.
Yeah, it's. I felt like it was a
Okay.
really great place to learn because it was pretty open, right? I think in some other places
Hmm.
it's tougher to even find a foot in how to learn because it can be so overwhelming to go to these practices and everybody's already like
That's
on a certain
true.
level, and if you're a beginner it can be really intimidating. But Colorado was really welcoming. I had some great mentors: Kevin O'Keefe, Mike Word, Adam Silva, Mikey Mestis. They really like took me under their wing. Um, and then even now today, I'm not. I know that there's been some ripples in the community, but I think that happened everywhere around pandemic, where people just started not putting up with bullshit
Yeah.
from people. Yeah. So I think there was some shaking up there, but Ian Flaws out there that has the B-Boy Factory, I think he's been doing a
Okay.
great job of like accessible practices, bringing people out to teach. Like, I think the community's gotten really strong there, and there's some incredible talent coming out of Colorado. Like
Yeah.
Bowsy now. I don't think he lives there anymore, but like, yeah, there's really great, I think, dance talent that comes out of there, and I think it does nurture a place that like is easy to get
Mm.
your first steps in.
Ivan has a dance school out there too, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think there's multiple. I think there's Colorado Springs as well that has some stuff going on. And then in Aurora, Chase has one. School of Breaks, I think, or something. But yeah, there's a good amount of studios sprinkled around. Where I taught when I was there,
Okay.
Sunnyside is still around. Um, yeah, the block is now they renamed it, but actually, a couple past students of mine run it now,
Hmm.
which is kind of crazy. Full
Okay.
circle.
You know, now that you,
Yeah.
now that you
Who you
mentioned that you
talking?
was in all styles, I can kind of see that now when you break, because when I see you break, I see that. I see you incorporating that in your movement, and it's very artistic, it's very like abstract, and now it makes sense because in my mind I thought you were just a straight B girl.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's funny because depending on what world I am, like I feel like for a long time the All Styles world didn't know that
Mm.
I like really break, and then the breaking world didn't really know that I did All Styles. And I think those two are merging a little bit more now for me. But yeah, I studied house and popping.
Oh,
I used to
really?
do locking, actually, even back in Colorado with Kevin O'Keefe.
Okay.
I'm not very good at it, but I used to but I used to learn it and mess around with it. And just like standing style hip hop, or like we had Larry Love, who was actually out of the East Coast. He moved to Colorado, and he would show us just like party dances and social dances and like 90 steps and
Mm.
stuff. So I really like from the beginning, even with my crew, dance was a major part of it.
Yeah.
Like musicality, dance, listening to the music, like Adam, Mikey, all of those guys, Larry. We even had, it was back in the day when you had like a
Oh,
locker
yeah.
and a
You had
popper in
one.
your
Every
breaking
crew had one.
crew. Yeah. So we had Caleb and like, yeah. So I just, even just being around it and like soaking it in and stuff was super beneficial for me. And then at one point, I just wanted to dive more into those other
Okay.
worlds. And it's hard to balance those two things. Like breaking takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication to really be on that like high competitive level. And so I stepped away for a little bit to
Oh, that
pursue other
makes
things.
sense
But
though too. You're also into like
yeah,
modeling, am I correct? Huh?
no, I just take pictures. I would love to get into modeling, but I really enjoy
Me too. I
fashion and
love
clothing.
fashion.
So yeah, so I just end up
Okay.
taking pictures of those, especially when we're on the road and stuff. And then there's a couple projects. Like I feel like now with social media, when you get to certain events like Red Bull or something like that, they also have like a whole separate section that's taking photos of you for their
Oh,
own social media and press and stuff like that. And so I feel like that started to end up with like more photos
okay.
and things like that. But I've never been I've never been modeling
Okay.
as far as like work, but
And did you
just for
create
fun.
I seen you had a t-shirt. Is that a brand of yours? Can you tell me
Yes,
about that?
yes, yeah. So I just started. This is the first drop of what I call Hey Susie. The first drop of what I call Rascal Threads, and that was actually to help fund all the stuff that
Okay.
was going on for the Olympics with getting to nationals and getting a
Oh,
trainer and getting a nutritionist and all this stuff. There's no funding going
mm,
into that right now on
right.
a larger scale in the U.S. And so all the breakers that are trying to compete are self funding for the most part. I think there's like one or two examples of people getting help, but not on a larger level. And so, yeah, I created. It was actually a design I created in
Oh,
2020 back in the pandemic. I was just like doodling. I started drawing again. We had, all the free time to
exactly.
do all the hobbies. So, I started drawing again, and I kind of came up with this sit like a lady sketch, and then I sent it to my homie Tunes, who lives in Florida, and he created he like um, you know, zhuzhed up the sketch, but also created the cartoon figure
Okay.
that's in the middle. I had just drawn a little stick figure placeholder, and he drew the cartoon figure, and then I got it printed with Squid Rock. So
Oh,
I kept
nice.
like all the design, the print, the everything within the community as well. Because I'm just big on like I think we can give each other a lot of opportunities. I think we can create a lot of work for one another just within the community. Um, and and I did a limited run and it did really, really, really well. And the sit like a lady was kind of this idea of like I've always been told to. Even right now, I'm like sitting like super sprawled out, but to like not take up too much space, to sit
Oh,
small, to like not spread, like look a certain way, act a certain
yeah.
way, talk a certain way. And so that was kind of like a play
Okay.
on that.
So are you involved in any type of cruise though too? Are you a part of a crew?
I'm part of Beat Freaks out
Oh,
here. Yeah, so with like Bonita, Lady Jules, Allison Falk, Lindsay B,
yeah.
Keely. It's like an all stars crew. Yeah, Tiff's rocking her shirt too. Um, but and then Air Force crew had actually Little Caesar had actually asked me
Oh,
to be a
really?
part of the crew a while back. Yeah, but I wasn't really doing power. It like in the moment it didn't feel like quite the right fit, and they were a
Mm.
little farther out at School of the
Oh, yeah, I
Arts that he
remember
had opened
that.
up, which was a beautiful facility. But it was harder to get to for me at the time, and so that didn't
Okay.
really like lock on. Um, yeah, and so since then it's just Beat Freaks, but not tied to any like
Yeah.
breaking crew at the
Wasn't
moment.
what was her name? I think it was Shorty Rock. Was she a part of Beef Freaks too?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's still a part of Beat Freaks too. Yeah, she's up in the Bay now. Everybody's a little spread. Like Jules went back to Colorado. Bonita's in Arizona. But yeah, we still have our group thread. We still talk and like get together for weddings and birthdays and then out here, Allison and Lindsay are still like my big sisters out here, so they've been super helpful just for like managing
Okay,
LA and
okay. Okay, that's dope, man. There's so many amazing stories for me. Things I didn't even know about with you. You know, that's the reason one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this is because when we see each other at the practices, it's kind of like we just give each other our space and we do our thing, and then after that, it's like, all right, I'll see you next week. You know, but I was always curious because I would see
totally.
you at different events because I remember when I first met you, you know. And I want to ask you too, like who are some of your inspirations today, like in the b-boy world and b-girl world? Who do you like today? It can be the new generation as well too.
Totally. Um, you know, when I first started, I was like always playing kind of with the back of my hand. And my crew member was like, "You need to check out Remind. Like, you're gonna really vibe with Remind's style." And so, you know, it was harder to look up people back then. But once I saw Remind, I was like, he's a huge inspiration for me. Um, his originality is like on another level. But also he incorporates like you can see him like use flexes to go down. He incorporates like other styles of dance, other movements, but keeps it breaking, which I think is like an art in itself. Um, yeah, so musical, so filled with like storytelling. I really like dancers that are storytellers. So on that tip, also
Oh, you like Prince?
stunts, b-boy stunts. He's another one that like I when I first got out here, I was practicing
Oh,
with
okay.
him and Chrissy and Irvin a bit, and like he really affected the way that I looked at
Mm.
it as well. Um, Especially in terms of like storytelling and character and like bringing yourself into the round. Those were some like major influences for sure. What up, Cuba? Um,
Oh,
Cuba's
really?
also
Okay,
from
yeah,
Colorado.
yeah.
I knew him back then, but we see each other all over the world now. Um, and then uh, uh, Beta was a big. inspiration.
Yeah.
Big Girl Beta was a huge inspiration for me. She was just out there burning dudes, like making guys cry. I like she took no prisoners, and I really loved like her approach to it, and I
Okay.
resonated with that kind of like power and aggression. Um, and then today, like more recently, I'm a big fan of
Okay.
Hijack. I love I love how much he uses the music. He also does a lot of storytelling, like very musical, very in tune with the moment. Like he feels like he's answering
Okay.
in the moment and not just running a set. I think Cassette is really dope. I haven't met her in person, but I think her approach to breaking is really dope. And I think she does a good job of like being original and like a little abstract while also still keeping it within the breaking realm. Um, yeah, I like and it's interesting now because you used to have to really like hunt for footage and like hunt for the b-boys you liked and like Abstract was another one that was like um but now it almost feels like there's just this like it like almost hits you in the face all the time. Just footage coming in every time you open up IG footage, YouTube footage. And so I think it's important for anybody like looking at footage right now to really like watch instead of just kind of like letting all this footage come in and like watching without intention. Like really watch and like find breakers that you resonate with and why, and like follow the journey a little bit more. And I don't know, in the way that we used to have like the people that we really tried to find and follow and learn from and stuff. And I feel like I'm not sure that that's the case anymore. Because it's too easily accessible. Like everything about everyone's life is like too easily
Hmm.
accessible.
I think that makes total sense, though, what you were saying. Actually, one more question, because I know that we want to keep it under the time. How do you feel about like the road to the Olympics? Like, and from your point of view, though, because we're getting closer.
We are. Um, I think the Olympics is an incredible opportunity for breakers. My hope is that it filters down to the community to give a lot of people opportunity, not just the one that goes to the Olympics every 4 years, but like makes people see breaking as the beautiful art that it is and how it can add to all sorts of different forms of art that are already out there. The road to it has been
Mm,
stressful. Um, to try to, it's like we're learning so many things at once, right? Like this is kind of this is the first run, so we're kind of the guinea pigs in figuring out how to make this run, how to make it fair, how to create a team, how to choose who goes, like all of these different things. And so it's hard to be in it and trying to learn it at the same time. Um, and I think for everyone, every breaking athlete that's in it, it's a lot of ups and downs of am I gonna go? Am I not? Am I gonna make it? Am I not? Are the rules gonna change and all of a sudden I'm in or I'm out depending on those rules? And so I have a lot of grace and respect for the people that are on
mm,
the ground floor trying to make this work, organizing, throwing the events, donating their time. Everybody's donating their time to coach, to travel, to organize, to lead. And so I have a lot of respect and grace for, and I hope that everybody watching from the outside, especially if you're not involved, has some grace for the process because it's brand new and it's a different thing than we're used to within our
mhm.
world. Um, and and so it's going to take some time to smooth out and to figure out the best route for it. But at the end of the day, I want the best possible person representing for the US. Like not only moves wise, but
Yeah.
culture wise too, so that they can speak to the culture, that they can speak to that this dance came from here and who it came from, right? The specific people, like Black culture, all of that. Like I hope that it's somebody that can really speak to that, because it's important. I think that the
I
U.S.
think you
is
hit something
represented
right
there.
on the head though. Like I think too, yeah, when they have somebody speak for us, the United States, you can't forget the contribution of African American people from the Bronx. Like you, and you have to mention the B
100%.
girls though too. Like there's original B girls too. You know, not only the ones that everybody know today, but there's like Shy Rock, Pebble Crew.
Yeah.
There's like there's a bunch of ladies though, like, and these were black women. You know what I'm saying? That were at cohort parties doing her thing, and this is early, like from like 71, 72, 73, when cohort first started doing parties though, and
Yeah. Well, and it was a woman who did the party. It just happened to be a man that
right,
DJ'd it, but the back to school party was
right.
brainborn from a woman. So, and a
Exactly,
black
though.
woman, as you
And
said,
that's one thing that I
So,
hope, though, too. Like, once it starts getting like super worldwide, that the black people that contribute to this culture, that they're not left out from east to west coast, and even like Europe, though, too. There's a lot of like people though that's very quiet though. You know, like I don't know if they don't want to speak. Like, there's a girl from the UK named B Girl Bubbles, the first big girl
hmm
from the UK. When Breaking first went to the UK, she's still around. Like she should have a place
yeah,
because it's going to be a UK team. Like she
100%,
should have a place where she can say, you know what, this is what I seen in '82. This is what I seen in '83.
100%, 100%. And I think that's the fear. I think Breaking's gonna do well because it's so like awe-inspiring to watch with what they do with their bodies,
Yeah,
but it really has to be the history and the culture that's preserved, and that's gonna be on the athlete because they're the ones that are gonna be doing the interviews and the things like that, and so making sure that they're speaking and
right.
pointing to the right
Yeah.
creators.
Honestly, like I'm not gonna lie, I would love to be a part of that. That's one of the main reasons why I'm documenting all this. So when it gets to that point, that when they start asking around, like who's the first person who knows the culture, like how long they've been involved, I want somebody to be like, yo, there's somebody in LA named Mike. Yo, he did all
Maya,
it takes. You know, he knows
totally,
what's up with the musicality. He knows the history. Like I just feel like I
totally.
deserve like to be recognized for that. If they're gonna ask for somebody to vouch for us on the West Coast, I'm only gonna speak for from what I see right here in
hmm
California because I'm from
Right,
LA. Right.
right,
So
right. Yeah, well, we gotta get you a
yes, I'm
schedule
gonna
ready
be
for Golden.
I'm trying to speak to some people though too. I'm gonna have Trinity on
Yeah,
here, and Trinity,
yeah,
she said that she's gonna do like she's gonna put the word out to some people out there too in New York. So hopefully that like with these interviews that it come across to somebody and they see the genuine, they see that I'm genuine with
yeah.
every generation. I'm doing the legends and I'm doing today's scene though too as well. So I'm covering two sides of the culture though too. So yeah,
Absolutely,
Randy, I just want to say thank you for your time. Before I let you go, yeah, before I
absolutely.
let
Thank
you
you for
go, is
having
there
me.
anything that you might want to ask me about, like something that you might have on your mind? Because I mean, I've been in the scene for a while.
Who are your inspirations or people that you really like? Not even inspired by, but people that you really are like, okay, they
Oh,
get it
right,
as far as like what
right,
breaking
right.
is
Are you talking
about.
about like today's or back in the day or just overall? Okay,
Overall, overall, but yeah, maybe like
okay.
one or two from both,
From
from back in the
today's
day and
scene,
from
I like a brother named Lee from the Ruggeds.
yeah,
That brother, he understands
Lee's,
musicality and he's storytelling, but it's very flexible, you know, and you can tell
mhm.
he's taking his time. He's just not like bum rushing the floor though. Um, I also like Supreme though too, and I like another kid though too. That's he's from actually Breaking MIA. He's a part of Zeku's, you know, like so is
Uh-huh.
Dancing Doug.
Oh, oh yeah,
He's
yeah,
young, but I think
yeah.
when it comes to power, and I have to be honest though, like overall, I
Yeah.
think he understands it because look who his mentor is, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. They're really like, there's a
yeah,
lot of young
I
kids
love the
coming
new
out
guys
of.
though. Like, I don't want anybody watching though
Hmm.
right now. I'll put it out there. I love today's generation just as much I love back in the day. I watch everything today. I watch all the Breaking for Gold like events though, you know. And I know they're not the standards of like how it used to be, but like this is today's time, and I learned that like I want to
Yeah.
evolve with the time. I don't want to just be left out, you know, like all that.
Yeah.
It ain't how it used to be. It's like I want to still be there because I love breaking, you know.
Yeah.
From somebody from back in the day that I see that gets it, I would have to say K-Mel. When I see K-Mel,
Yeah. Oh, that would be
when
another
I
one on
see
my list of
K-Mel,
like
like in
highly
'99,
inspiring.
I was blown away. I'm at home. I'm at home, like watching the VHS tape, and I'm like, oh shit, like he's from the Bronx. It makes sense. This brother is breaking down music, and he can do footwork, and his character was it was larger
Yeah.
than life, you know. Number
Yeah.
two is somebody I've always rolled with, which is Ramine. I met Ramine when I think he was 14 years old. And I met him in Modesto, young Filipino kid with these dreams of like, I'm gonna be the best in the world. I'll smoke anybody. And I'm thinking like, bro, like relax though. Like you already know, bro. Like you got Storm, you got Ken Smith, you got Mauricio. But he was just like, man, I'll do a style. I got a style to every element, man. I'm the reminder. And that was the birth of Style Elements right there when he said that he can do a style
Yeah.
to every element. And then I go to a jam.
Yeah.
When we were
That's
breaking, they were
crazy.
called the Children of Al Capone. They were playing with the name. They didn't have a crew. So I go to a jam,
Yeah.
Radiotron, and they sign up and they said the X-Men versus Style Elements. And I looked and I said, oh shit, they're using the name. And that was the beginning of Style Elements. And then they went to the Radiotron and they battled Renegades. And when they won that, everybody's career took off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You were there
Yes,
for the birth of style
and I see
elements.
Ramon when he was just like he was trying to figure it out, but I know he can figure it out because Ramon came from an African American background community where all of his inspirations were black. That's the reason why he has that insight because his teachers
Hmm.
and the school that he went to in his community, everything was black. Like his whole surrounding was, so that's how he
Yeah.
got so musical. That's why he had that confidence though, because like most people back in that time that were kind of like Filipino or whatever, their confidence was okay, but like Ramon believed that he was the greatest. I believed him too, but he
Yeah.
was so young. You know, you see somebody 14, like, yo, I'm gonna smoke everybody when I go to Summit. I'm like, bro, like, Flowmaster's over there. Like, what are you talking about? And he did it.
That's crazy, but that's what it takes. That's what it takes in breaking is like
Yeah,
that
he
belief in
did it.
yourself.
He made his point, you know, and he's one of the most respected b-boys of all times. Like he's like of all every interview that I've done
Absolutely.
on Randy, I've done at least like 200 on Instagram. His name comes up in every interview. From Mexico to Thailand to New Zealand to Netherlands, everybody says
Legendary.
remind.
Yep.
Yes.
Legendary.
So thank you for your time, Randy. I'm super appreciated. Hopefully I'll see
Yes.
you on Saturday and just have a blessed and good day. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun to talk to you. I look
Yes,
forward to
me too.
chatting
Like I
more.
said, before I let you go, you're an amazing dancer, amazing person, and I appreciate that we just we have that type of friendship where we can see each other and be positive. Okay.
Definitely. Always. All right. Take care. I'll see you soon.